When you read the headlines today, fuck. When you read the headlines today, it's easy to believe that the biggest story in business is artificial intelligence. Because every earnings call seems to mention AI, every investor asks about AI, every board wants an AI strategy. But after reviewing the latest earnings announcements and the executive commentary around them, I believe that we're asking the wrong question. See, the question isn't who's winning the AI race. I think the better question is, what new buying organizations is AI creating? Because AI isn't just changing technology, it's actually changing how organizations make decisions. And that changes how customers buy. So in this framework, what I want to share is what I believe is the biggest shift that's happening in the B2B markets today. And it all starts with the executive decision. So that strategic executive decision, let's use as an example AI operationalization as our case today. A CEO decides that AI is now part of the company's growth strategy. That decision doesn't immediately create a software purchase. Nope, it actually creates something bigger. It creates a completely new buying organization. So this is when executives, we know, they bring together the cross-functional executive leaders. And so historically, technology purchases were pretty straightforward. IT, they identified a need, procurement evaluated the vendors, the business approved the funding, you know the drill. But today's AI initiatives, they look nothing like that. See, the buying organization, it now includes the CIO, the chief data officer, there's risk components, there's operational components, there's growth components. So you see all these different functions that are coming together. These are all business unit leaders. So one strategic decision has brought together an entirely new cross-functional team, and that's the first signal. So when we look at the buying motion, now see, once that buying organization forms, something else happens. New business problems must be solved. And those new business problems, they generate questions that didn't emerge just 6 months ago. These are questions like, how do we govern AI? How do we protect sensitive data? Could our infrastructure support enterprise AI? Do we have the right cloud architecture? How will AI change our customer experience? How do we modernize all of our applications? Yeah, these aren't isolated technology questions. They're actually strategic business questions. And that's what creates commercial buying motions. So next, the supplier ecosystems gets created. Once the executive decision, or really one executive decision, it suddenly creates all these different opportunities across multiple industries. So we think about our example today, it generates an opportunity across cybersecurity firms, cloud providers, connectivity providers, digital engineering firms, data platform companies, consulting organizations, right? So the opportunity isn't AI software. The opportunity is the entire supplier ecosystem that's required to actually operationalize AI successfully. And that's why signal-led go-to-market focuses on strategic decisions rather than waiting for buying intent. Because the executive decision is the earliest observable signal and everything else follows. So many organizations, they still monitor demand. It's pipeline, website visits, intent signals, content engagement. Yeah, they're all valuable, but they're all downstream indicators. Because signal-led go-to-market, it starts much earlier. It asks, what strategic decision did leadership just make? Because every strategic decision creates a new buying organization, new commercial buying motion, new supplier ecosystems, and ultimately new revenue opportunities. So as you look across your target accounts this quarter, don't start by asking, hey, who's buying AI? Instead, ask which executive teams have committed to operationalizing AI, which new buying organizations are being formed, which supplier ecosystems will those different decisions create. Because those answers will tell you where tomorrow's buying motion is already beginning. So in closing, the biggest story in AI isn't the technology. It's the organizations being kind of reshaped around it. And traditional go-to-market teams, because they monitor demand, and signal-led go-to-market monitors the strategic decisions that create demand, it's a different game. Because strategic decisions, they create buying organizations create buying motion creates these new supplier ecosystems, and supplier ecosystems create revenue opportunities. That's the signal, and that's where tomorrow's growth begins.